welcome back to another video. I'm not gonna do a whole lot of things today as far as I know, but we're gonna do a few things. I'm gonna grab the four-wheeler here. Yeah, there's a screwdriver on here. I don't know why that's there. Anyways, I'm gonna take with this four-wheeler. I'm also gonna grab me a hoe, which I have on back of my truck. I'll get that. I was gonna go hoe out a few weeds. There's a few big ones that I've spotted on the field, and I figured I'd walk out there and just, you know, get rid of them. Might as well. So I'm gonna take this with me, drive around. I might check up on I already checked up on all the pivots, but I'll check up on a few fields, see how wet they are, see if they need to be turned off or anything. I'll check for diseases and peanuts and all sorts of good stuff. So we'll see what'll happen today. Peanuts are looking good though. We did get a nice shower. Okay, so today's Monday, we got it Saturday evening. We got a nice shower at my house anyway. But here on the farm, it looks like we might have gotten only like a sprinkle or two maybe. So it's not a whole lot. We did get a little bit of hail at my house. So we checked the farm. There's a few areas where we got a little bit of hail, but nothing, no big damages really. A little bit of the cotton, got a few leaves knocked off of them, but it's nothing major anyway, so nothing to cry about. But overall, still looking really good. I'm gonna pull out a few peanuts here in a little bit. I want to get out to big field, which this is actually a low spot, so might actually pull one out right here, because the low spot will usually have more diseases, more chances for it. So I think I'll pull one out right here and I'll see what I can find. So I just pulled out this one plant right here, and there's quite a few nodes on there, quite a bit of nitrogen, all these little bumps on there. You want to see a lot of those, especially if you squeeze them and red comes out, then there's good nitrogen there, which that one looks like there wasn't. But anyways, peanuts will make their own nitrogen. But basically what I'm looking for is any sort of like black dots, big black peanuts. If there's black peanuts, then we got root rot, and pod rot, and we don't want that. That means we got to spray for it. But I mean, there's quite a few peanuts on here. I like the look of that. This is one plant. There's quite a few peanuts on here. That's what I like to see. No mold or anything either. This one right here probably got a little bit of black on there, but if you can scratch it off, then you're fine. So this one's, I guess, a little black, but I can scratch it off, so that means I think we're fine. I'm gonna open up the peanut. Where'd it go? Peanut looks healthy. Yeah, so I think we're good. No diseases here. Nothing bad anyway. It all looks good, nice and healthy. That's what I'd like to see. All right, I did a little bit more digging, and I found this peanut. This one right here. Can't quite tell on camera, but basically if you scratch a peanut like this and it's black underneath, or it gets darker, that means the peanut is completely ready to be harvested. So this one's ready to go to the peanut factory or whatever, well, once it dries obviously. So whenever, say, a certain percentage of the peanuts scratch black like that, and when they're ready, after a certain percentage, depending on what variety of peanuts they are, that's when we know it's time to dig them. That or unless, you know, you get a freeze or some really cold weather incoming, you know, that can damage peanuts. Or say if you have lots of diseases and you have to dig them. So there's certain circumstances that can come into effect, but once the majority of them are ready like this, then it'll be time to dig. So I only found one that's completely ready. So I'm hoping we can keep these in the ground as long as possible, because as you can tell, all these peanuts here on the end, there's this one here, this one's not near ready yet, but I'm hoping that all these here at the end will mature fast enough where we can have these as full peanuts too. So the longer we can keep them in the ground, the more mature peanuts we will get, and the better grades we'll get, and the more tons per acre we'll get. So essentially more money, I guess, but better crop. So looks like a few of them are getting ready, and that's what I like to see. So I found a few big weeds over there that I'm gonna go hoe out next. And just walking along here, those are the weeds that I was gonna hoe out right there. Walking along here, I noticed there's some leaves hanging on the ground here, and I'm assuming that is from the hail. So the hail knocked off a few leaves, or at least that's what it looks like, because I also can't find any worms, and you know, these are still nice and green. So I'm assuming this happened within the last couple of days. So I guess that's the only bit of hail damage you see. And you know, you can't really tell the difference. The rows are still solid. So by far, not bad hail damage at all. So I'm okay with it. Would have liked to get a little bit more rain though. We only got, I think, about a couple of tenths here on the farm. Yeah, these are the weeds that I'm talking about. Guess I can't really hoe these out with hoe, because who knows where the stem is among all these peanuts. But if you're wondering what this weed is right here, this is what some people would call luxury in their homes, because you know, it looks pretty and it's a vine, you know, it makes these purple flowers. But no, hate these stupid things. These are annoying. These are what you would call morning glories, and every farmer will hate these, because look what it does. It's a vine, and it just grows a big splotch like this over the peanuts. And then when you want to come here with the peanut digger, that peanut digger is going to get clogged up with all these vines, because they don't rip easy. And then the peanut digger gets all clogged up, and you have to peel that apart. And then part of it stays in the peanuts. And then when you harvest it, your header gets clogged full of these things too. So then you got issues there. So these are very, very annoying. And as you can tell, there's a few. There's another one way out there, and there's another small one there. But once they get this big, they're very, very annoying, because they're vines, and they just grow, and they keep growing and growing, and do not like them, not one bit. Don't know how this one got to be so big though. Saw this one here a while back, but I didn't have time to go pull it out, so that's why I'm finally doing it now. But as you can see, it just tangles up among everything. I don't like it. And then hoping that it's not going to cause problems later, because I'm just going to probably put it here between the rows. I think I pulled it out all the way. There we go. This is one thing. This is one morning glory, and I don't like it. But seriously, some people actually do put these, they plant these at their houses, and they let them grow because they're vines and they think they're cool. But every farmer in this area for sure will say they hate morning glories. Not a fan. So I'm just getting here to the pivot. Figured I'd drop my hoe off here because I realized I don't need it. And I looked over that way, and there's a whole lot more morning glories that I had not noticed before. I feel like they just now started coming up or something. We do also have a lot of nutgrass here. We already sprayed for that, but this stuff takes almost forever to die. But I mean, it looks bad, but it's not super solid, so I'm hoping the digger will still be okay to get through it. But look at all these spots. It goes all up over that hill, and then on the side of that hill over there yet, and then a few go down there yet. So there's a big area here. There's a lot of morning glories. And I think I'm going to be here for a while if I'm going to pull every single one of them out. Or at least I'm going to try to pull every single one of them out. Pull at least as many of them out as I possibly can. We'll see how far I get. Got majority of the ones on top of this hill over here. Now I'm just working my way back to the pivot because it's close to 12 and I want to get some lunch. And I've been finding a few of these spots where, you know, it looks like just a plant is dying. And what that is, I believe we got a little bit of spider mites. So at least that's what it looks like. This doesn't look like pod rot or anything because I've dug a few of these up out of the ground. And all the peanuts are still good. So yeah, I think these are just spider mites. If these get bad, we'll have to spray the spots that we can see. But we'll have to keep an eye on these. If we're not careful, this can also take down an entire field. But doing a few more here. I'm getting mainly just, you know, the big ones. So the ones that'll actually cause problems. Majority of the tiny ones are not going to do anything by the time we want to dig out the peanuts, so I'll just leave those alone. I'm getting all the big ones for now. Gonna go eat some lunch after this for sure. And as I'm walking here, I was gonna go back to the four-wheeler to go eat some lunch. Stop by here because, you know, I saw quite a few pigweeds here. I figured I'd hoe out a few on my way back. And I stopped by here and I could start seeing quite a few dead spots, like that one and that one. And then there's another one right there. There's another little spot right there. So there's a, I don't know, a good 20-foot little area here. I think there's just a lot of spider mites, so we're gonna talk to our chemical guy, see what he thinks. Because I believe, if I'm correct, spraying for spider mites is extremely expensive. And I don't think we want to spend that much money into spraying the entire field. So we probably have to scout more of the field to see what we can all see. And maybe just with like a 5-gallon tank, just spray the spots that we can actually see. Because spraying an entire field, that gets very, very expensive, and you lose a lot of profit if you end up doing that. And if we don't have to, we would prefer not to do that. So I guess we'll see what ends up happening. And if you see this lighter area right there, that's a lot of nutgrass that we have over there. We already sprayed for it and it looks like it's kind of dying. Not quite sure yet. I'm hoping that'll die, because a big spot like that, that's going to be tough to dig through with the peanut digger. So I'm hoping that all dies and we don't have to deal with the nutgrass problem. But I'm going to quickly hoe out a few, grab my hoe again because I was on my way at the pivot anyway. Oh, look, another spot. Yeah, I think we just have a spider mites in this area right here. But yeah, I'm going to hoe out a few of these pigweeds and then finally go eat some lunch. Nice, I have received reinforcements and I have received a lot more weeds, but I got half of them done already. Close enough anyway. Well, my brother just called me back because I sent a video on our farm group chat or whatever, and he was almost thinking this looks like sclerotinia, but I didn't think we had sclerotinia on this field. I didn't think that was an issue here. I thought this was spider mites, but now I don't know. With sclerotinia, sometimes you can find what looks like little mouse droppings on the bottom of the plant here, and I can't see none of that. That's why I assume this was more spider mites. So our chemical guy, he's already been called, so he's probably going to come out here and take a look at it. He's more of an expert in this situation, I guess, so he'll take a look at it, see what he thinks this is. But whatever it is, so far it looks like it's just in this area here, like a 20-30 foot area around this well right here. So whatever it is, we'll probably end up just spraying with just like a spot sprayer, just like a 5-gallon tank or something, because I don't think spraying the whole field is necessary, because regardless of what it is, sclerotinia or spider mites, it gets very expensive spraying for it. So if we can spray the minimum amount of it is better. But I guess we'll find out later what this actually is. I guess I'll keep you posted once we find out what it actually is. Just finished eating lunch, and I was gonna go back to pulling out more weeds, but Turns out my brother needs me to bring him some sweeps. They are going to be using that air seeder here shortly, and they want to start air seeding around the edges of the field where we disked. So we want to use the air seeder because it has shanks on the bottom, and we can put sweeps on there and chop off any existing weeds that are still there. So we have all these shanks back here, all these, or sweeps. We have all these sweeps left back here. All the bolts should be into this bucket right here. And then we want to put all these back on the air seeder, and then we'll use that for sowing wheat on the. We also have to sow wheat at the edges of the field, because if we don't, then we have problems with sand blowing towards the end of the year and the beginning of next year. So we definitely need that cover crop at the edges of the field. So that's another reason why we're using the air seeder. We might use the regular seed drill on certain spots where we don't need the air seeder to, you know, help it go by quicker. But for now, I'll just load all these up onto my truck and then bring them to my brother. And well, a little change of plans. I was gonna drive back to that field that had all those morning glories and help my little brother pull out more morning glories. But now I just hopped into this tractor, this 225. I do have a lamp plane behind me, but I'm gonna unhook that. And then I'm gonna hook on the wheat drill. And then I'm going to start sowing wheat around some of our fields, because now that there's a little bit of moisture in the ground from the rain that we got, I'm going to try to do that as soon as possible to where it won't dry out, and then the wheat will actually be able to grow, because we can't water it for any way unless it does get rain. So I'm going to go now to the other barn and hook on the wheat drill. Can't reach. Oh, there we go. All right, it's hooked up. Now, we have gotten some rain, so I do want to make sure that it's going to be still seeding, or still planting, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it's going to be completely clogged because of the rain and water. If I look up here where the seed is, it looks all dry. So on the top it should be good. I don't know if the bottom will still be good, so I'm going to turn it quite a few times, make sure it's all still planting good, and let's see if I'll have to clean it out or not. Well, we should be good to go. I just filled up diesel. The seed drill had a few row units that were completely clogged because of the rain and everything. It's a little bit of moisture got in there, so each little unit right on top there was a nice little big ball of rotten wheat, so we had to kind of peel that out of there. Now I'm gonna quickly fill up seed while I'm at it. This seed tender right here has wheat seed in there. So I'll fill it up and then I'll be on my way. All right, guess that's time to plant some cover crop. We're just at the edges of the field anyway. Gonna go a couple feet here and then I'll go outside and check the depth, make sure everything's good. I think about there is good enough. Wait for that dust to get out the way. So I for sure want it to be going into wet ground. I scratched the top layer a little bit. We got really good moisture underneath. I want to make sure that all the wheat is for sure going into wet ground, or else it's not really going to grow or anything. So almost looks like it already got too dry. Let's see if I can find some wheat seeds anywhere in here. All right, finally found some wheat seeds. There's one. It's barely in wet ground, and barely, I mean like barely. So man, I don't know. I feel like we didn't get enough rain. I feel like it's too dry already. See, this is just, you know, that's sand. I feel like it got too dry already for us to be planting, because there's not much. It's not in deep moisture, that's for sure. Look, there you go. I found another one real quickly. So yeah, it's not in deep moisture, but you know, it's in. Man, I feel like we need to just wait longer, and hopefully we get another rain and then do it then. I feel like it's a little too early to start planting. I think I'm just gonna wait and not plant today. Maybe just finish planting another day. Well, my dad agrees with me. He was also thinking it's starting to get a little too dry, so we're gonna wait till either it dries up completely and then plant it in a dry ground and then wait for a rain, or just wait till after a rain. But for now, I guess we're gonna go pull out more morning glories and then just driving over the peanuts. Why would you do that?
Yeah, why would I, right?
You just destroyed $1,000 right there.
Penny?
A penny maybe. Is there any more morning glories, or how many more did y'all find?
You mean Sclerotinia?
Yeah, or that. Or is it Sclerotinia or is it spider mites?
It's Sclerotinia.
It's Sclerotinia?
Need to spray.
What is Stuart thinking?
Need to spray.
Need to spray the whole field or just partial?
We're gonna spray the whole field.
Whole field? Eesh, that's gonna cost a pretty penny.
It's gonna cost an arm and a leg.
What is that, like over $60 an acre?
I'm not quite sure. It's about, give or take, around $100 a gallon, 16 ounces per acre. So
yeah, do the math. $100 a gallon, 16 ounces an acre. That sounds expensive to me already. Does the whole field have it, or I thought it was just that spot over there?
No, I drove over the field just now. It's all over the field.
Well, that sucks. Not a fan of that.
It is what it is.
Yep. Does 13 have it, or is it just 12?
There's a peck on it, yeah.
Well, let's hope it's just 12.
We'll see.
Because that's pretty bad. All right. Guess I'll go find more morning glories. So, a little bit of clarification on what Sclerotinia is. You can Google it, but basically it'll destroy an entire plant. Once it has destroyed an entire plant, then it'll literally destroy the entire row. It'll just start somewhere, and then it'll just continue and continue and keep on going for however long the peanuts last. So you can't really get rid of it. If you have it in the soil, you have it. If you don't have it, you're lucky. But if it pops up like it did now, you can only spray for it. There's nothing you can do to prevent it. You can spray for it. That's about the only thing. So if it has it, it has it. You can never get rid of it. It'll always be there. So that's the downside. But we're gonna continue pulling more morning glories here. There's a few more. We might spend another 30 minutes to an hour here. Call it a day. So do appreciate y'all for watching. I'll see y'all guys in the next one.